Back to another example of effective marketing in the travel industry. This is Mike Britchage. He owns a mountain bike adventure company called Sacred Rides. He provides a case study in how to build a brand that is really well liked and in the process is building a healthy business. In 2011, Sacred Rides grew plus 30%, and this year it is growing by plus 50%. He has a lovely website with a lot of emotion. Here is a shot of a biker in Nepal and a quote from Eleanor Roosevelt. "The future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams." His Facebook page now has over 10,000 followers. He constantly interacts with his audience and engages them with feedback. You can see it here. Top left is a poster where he published answers from a question he posed, which was, "Why do you mountain bike?" Bottom right is a contest to win a trip to British Columbia. Mike also uses Facebook for research. He explained to me that when he wanted to design a poster, he asked his fans to vote on the most appealing image. Then he asked for suggestions for headlines, and then he had his audience pick their favorite. I asked him, "Mike, how long did that process take?" I was thinking it took perhaps a couple of days. "No," he said, "it took about 40 minutes. The week before the conference, I spent in Guatemala on a Sacred Rides trip. That is me overlooking Lake Atitlan. Before the trip, I'd set up a page on Facebook and shared it with the 8 others who were going on the trip so we could get to know each other a little before we met, as we were from all over North America, from Toronto to Silicon Valley. Then, while we were on the trip, we shared photos. I posted this one to the group's page. As soon as Mike saw it, he posted it to the Sacred Rides main page, and so I became an unwitting, but willing, part of his marketing efforts. More significantly, the group I was part of is now a part of Sacred Rides' online community, sharing photos and videos like this one of me falling over my handlebars into a ditch. What is so remarkable about this technology is how it ties all the different parts of marketing together and creates communities of shared interests. Whether it is Starbucks' Facebook page with nearly 30 million likes, or tweets about an event, or kids looking at Red Bull videos of dangerous sports, or mothers sharing recipes for diabetics. The technology makes it possible. No, the technology makes it easy to participate in communities of shared interest. The technology makes it possible to share information and communicate in new ways. For instance, it is now easy to put sales and educational materials onto a sleek, lightweight tablet. Here is a picture of what one of our clients, Lint, is doing, so their salespeople could dispense with carrying a briefcase full of papers and handle everything, including ordering, on an iPad. The technology is remarkably empowering. It is also fundamentally changing the ecosystem of business. To illustrate how profound these changes are, here is a graph that shows the sudden and catastrophic decline in revenues of print newspaper from advertising. In the last 7 years, revenue has cratered as classifieds have been replaced by Craigslist and eBay. The result is that journalists have been losing their jobs, and what is left is a void of interesting and well-researched information. The newspaper ecosystem has been so much a part of normal life that it is hard to see how peculiar it has been, and what we lose once it collapses. An ecosystem has built up whereby the film industry, for instance, has bought ads, which subsidize journalists to write interesting stories about movies. And so we've grown used to having sections in our newspaper that cover entertainment. And as a result, we know and appreciate the industry. And as well, we are familiar with the intimate details of movie stars' lives. Contrast this with the situation in the gaming industry. The video game industry has overtaken the movie industry in size. Yes, video games are a bigger business than movies. But we do not have a section in the newspaper covering the gaming industry. Most coverage about video games in the mainstream press describes the violence of the games and their adverse effects on children. A mutually supportive ecosystem has not yet developed. There are also sections in the newspaper covering automobiles that are subsidized by the industry. But these sections are getting thinner and the articles more slapdash, which is creating a vacuum of fair, industry-supporting information. Recently, there's been negative coverage about the medical insurance industry in the press, such as the coverage on CBC's Marketplace. Industry insiders know that over 95% of claims are settled without issue, and so this industry is not representative of the service that is routinely delivered and the vast majority of customers who are satisfied. The coverage would not be a serious issue if it was counterbalanced by stories of the people who are grateful for having bought insurance. Instead, all one sees are the hundreds of posts bitterly complaining about how they feel they were ripped off. There are 226 comments on the CBC website that were posted before the commenting was disabled. Not every customer has a positive experience in any industry, and when they're angry, they become most vocal. But if you search online for information about travel health insurance, you find lots of sites that are attempting to sell, but you find few positive reviews and very little that makes you feel good about the industry. There is a communications vacuum that is developing that threatens to do serious harm to the entire industry. When someone talks about you behind your back, you can ignore them, but the situation can blow up to your detriment. Or you can join the conversation by every means available and communicate your side of the story. If someone asks you, should you be trying to solve the problem using social media, you're really asking the wrong question. Social media is not a fix. It is an essential aspect of how people are communicating these days, and so it plays an essential role in communicating what a brand stands for. My belief is that the fast evolving web of technologies are fundamentally changing the way we need to approach our businesses, right down to our core values. Business people who realize this will beat those that don't. Take, for instance, Bruce Poon-Tip, the CEO of GE Adventures. He started the company 22 years ago without any capital. Today, they are the largest small group adventure travel company in the world, and this year they're growing at plus 32%. When he talks about his business, he does not talk about the traditional business metrics of profit and return on investment. He talks about the quadruple bottom line of people, planet, profit, and passions and purpose. He talks a lot about his core values of happiness and freedom. He describes how his organization, together with an army of volunteers, is restoring the sight of impoverished people and bringing good to communities around the globe. He has built an online community that identifies with the GE Adventures brand and loves it. That has only been possible because of the core values that he believes in, core values that have grown to be part of the brand. Bruce Poon-Tip believes that businesses who use social media will beat those that don't, and businesses that people like will beat those they don't like. The incredible changes in technology are changing how we approach business. We can no longer treat marketing communications as a business tactic, and social media is not something that a business can choose to ignore. Businesses are social. Brands need to be likable. To succeed, we need to take advantage of how everything is increasingly interconnected, and people want to connect with people and brands they like. In conclusion, changes in technology are truly exciting, and companies that embrace the changes will outperform those that don't. This is Tom Beekman.